So I bought my first two accounts, which I'm pleased about,
Mm-hmm.
and they are paid for, and we're waiting for shipment. I worked with the brand
Registering.
about getting on the brand registry and getting ungated with them, so that looks good. And I'm excited. It's exactly what I wanted, to get brand approval and go direct, not have to worry about the supplier, not having to. Previously, I would find a product and order 10, and then hope to get ungated. And I did that 5 times, and 3 of the products that are sitting right there on my desk are not, I'm looking, I don't know what they even are not ungated. So that was bad. That was a problem. And I came across your videos. You said the things I needed to know. But more importantly, you provided the training that I needed. I've watched your videos repeatedly, and I want to implement it. And then, like anything else, you get better as you do it. So you stumble a little bit, then you kind of figure out your way. Everybody finds their own path. I find out what I like to do, and it works, and you go brand direct. So that's the way to do. I think if you want to be a long-term player, that's what you need to do, and that's the goal.
So you had tried a few arbitrage orders, and you bought them.
I did.
Still gated, and you just were like, you gotta find out a better way. I think you came across us on TikTok, and just was that the first time you heard about brand direct sourcing? Was that the first kind of time
there's a lot of stuff on TikTok that you would hear about.
Yeah.
But at the time, a lot of it was arbitrage, and that's how I started. And then I think people realized arbitrage was problematic for all the reasons you talk about.
Yeah.
And then you came along with brand direct, which made more sense. Again, I think I bought 5 items, and 2 were, and I was only buying the 2, not because they were profitable products, by the way, just to get ungated for more products. So it was a test order of 10, and 2 of them went okay, or 3 of them, and a couple I'm now stuck with the product for. So we'll see. And that's kind of stuff you want to avoid. And the question becomes, even if I do that, what happens when I order a bigger order? Is that going to be a problem? Is that going to switch? So I've gone from 10 to 400, and all of a sudden, no, you're not ungated for that. So that was not the way to go long term. I was looking for products, then suppliers. Now I'm looking for brands and then products. And I think that's a better long-term strategy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, anyone that's buying arbitrage, or even if you're buying from a wholesaler, even if you get, like, let's say those products got ungated for a period of time, right, that you're trying to sell arbitrage. The thing about those types of products and those types of situations is you're not approved by the brand to sell those products. You don't have authorization in any way, shape, or form. You don't have a brand direct invoice or anything. So down the road, if you do a big order, 400 units instead of 10, right? They could re-gate you and make it to where you can't sell those. Then you're stuck with those 400 units, right? That's like a huge long term, which happens to big arbitrage sellers or big people that are doing wholesale. But the reason why everyone's now talking about, I'm sure you're seeing, sourcing directly from brands and getting real authorization like you're doing now. You don't get re-gated on products because you have real authorization. You get ungated much easier. You have a paid invoice from the brand. You have the ability to have a relationship with the brand, like one of the brands that you just got, and your margins have been phenomenal, right? Like so far, it looks like you have 2 brands, both of them above and beyond like 75%, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did. I set my ROI 30 and my profit at $5, and that $5 does built in a prep fee of $1. So I give myself a little leeway. So if I go under that, then I'm still, I think, in good position.
Yeah.
And I think what you hit on is the key in pretty much every business that you'll come across, but it's relationships. Nothing gets done without relationships. You talk about developing relationships with your brand, and I think that is so essential, because I know there's better pricing. I know there's things they can do for me. I know they can reduce their shipping fees, but right now I'm just a guy who'll contact them online or a call with another brand, and there's not a lot of leeway.
They have a really strong Amazon presence. This brand you're working with is doing, I think, 5 different SKUs of 500 plus sales a month or something like that. They sell well. You have really good pricing on it. You're talking to the owner of the business that can give you actual authorization and potential for exclusivity in the future. And that's like the best relationship you can have, possibly, And you take that relationship that you have with them and the other brand you're working with now and do good business with them, and then use them as a trade reference for the next brand and the next brand. And that's how you can start to really scale your business long term. You're set up with a good prep center. Everything is looking good. In regards to like the program itself and just communication and everything like that, how has everything been in regards to just how the structure has been? Like, a lot of people that get into different programs like this, they're worried about not getting real support when they need it in terms of like messages and stuff like that. They take 2 days to respond or stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about that kind of deal.
I'm really glad that you brought this up, and I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm just here to praise you. But I'm telling you, the reason I would recommend you to anybody is you. You have been so helpful to me in getting this off the ground. I can't begin to tell you, I am in your debt. You get back to every text, you respond, you're helpful, you have an idea. You can't put a price tag on that. Mm-hmm. So in building a long-term relationship with these clients, what I found out, if I didn't have my relationship with you, none of this happens. If I have a problem, a question, a query, something's not working, I text you and you always get back to me timely and with a good answer.
These types of programs, have you done one before this or no? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I did. And it helped me get started about the beginning of the year. And it kind of gave me some impetus. And the problem I ran into, which is why I wanted to join your company, was that it just took it it was arbitrage, and took it to the supplier level. Mm-hmm. And I realized in researching these things, this is not going to work. Mm-hmm. And as fate would have it, I happened to see one of your videos, and it's exactly what I needed, because I either wasn't coming up with enough products or I was not able to get ungated, or it was problematic.
Yep.
This is a problem. And as that happened, I happened to see one of your videos, and then you and I communicated and I joined. And let me reiterate, it is the best investment, worth the money, because of what you've been able to do to assist me directly. I know that you're there and you will help me, and you've been unbelievable. So the reason to join this is because of what they offer and because of what you have been able to give me. And I assume you give everybody else. And
I do.
Guidance when we need it, and that is key. You can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that a lot, actually. And the biggest like light bulb moment that people have is that they're no longer going to be seeking a product hamster wheel, right? You might find a product and it might sell for a little bit, but you get regated and you lose that product. You got to find another lead and another discount and another wholesaler, whatever the case may be. You always are searching for the next thing, which with Brand Direct, you have to do outreach and stuff to get brands. But when you get that brand, you try to keep that brand and hold on to it, so you have a good foundation with them, right? You don't lose it. It's replenishable inventory. You can buy from them for years. That should be the goal. And you can always have the skill to get more and more brands and compound over time. And you're not on a hamster wheel anymore. You're just establishing a base of good brands to buy from, good relationships that you might even get to a point soon, really, that you don't even need more brands because you're using all your capital with those few that you have, and you can stick with them. You can just kind of relax from the outreach for a little bit, right? And then just kind of, or even like if you get really confident in one of them, you can use, outside funding to put more money into it. There's stuff like that, right? When you get really confident in like a certain supplier and brand, you can start to go much deeper on them, which is really what gives you like larger results long term, because it's not about just buying a bunch of stuff and a bunch of SKUs. It's about finding the really good ones that work for you. And you can't really do that unless you're really good at sourcing, which is what we really focus on, It's finding good brands that give you authorization and you can work with them long term. So yeah, I'm definitely happy that you're really happy with the service. And
I just mentioned two things that they hit on, I think.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this before, and then I'm going to take the two niches that my brand is in and try to expand that niche.
Yep.
And maybe shrink the funnel a little bit and use them as a reference, and
yep.
That's going to be my next goal, is to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so to try to become the leader in those couple niches.
For sure.
And I think that will be the way to go. That I'm thinking.
Like worst case scenario on those brands, if worst case scenario happened and you're selling it for the lowest that you've seen the last year on those products, you're still making money, which is like a really good spot to be in, because anything above and beyond that is you're making better money, right? So,
right.
And that's how you got to look at it. I always look at worst case scenarios. I know you know that. We became kind of not risk averse, because we know when to take risk when the time is right? But risk averse in terms of like, you're not buying stuff that if it was the same price or if it was a month ago price, it's not profitable. You're not buying stuff that is, in your case, you have a restricted brand, but they're willing to put you on their registry, which, by the way, if you have a viewer on here, when you get put on the registry as an authorized reseller, you can get ungated for the product without, having to, you can even do it with not the right amount of units on your case scenario. If you bought 100 units, that's what I was trying to explain to you at one point, is like, when you're on the registry, you get ungated for the brand, like regardless, So that's when you're an actual authorized reseller in the system. You should have no problem ungating any of their products after that, which will help you too, because you can start to buy their other stuff they have. They have a bunch of other stuff as well. How quickly do you start to see real progress from this? Like when you first came on and started working with us, I know you were pretty new to sourcing Brand Direct. How quickly did you start to see traction with it? Like, I know
I
you,
saw traction. If you put the time in and follow the script and figure your way on how you want to do this, you should have success right away. So
Yeah.
that's it. It's not real complicated. And
Yep.
you will get your objections. And when I make a call to someone, I have your script for phone objections in front of me. So if they say, and I've structured in such a way, so if they say, we're not dealing with the Amazon deal, then I have, something to say to them and a question to ask to close. Or
Yep.
if they say, we don't do online, I have it in front of me that I can refer to right away. Does not guarantee me success, but it keeps the conversation going.
Yep.
And that's all we're looking to do. And the questions we ask are questions that, well, why wouldn't you want to continue if I could offer you an approach to bringing you sellers?
Yep.
So it gives you something to say to keep the conversation forward and moving forward. And it's based on your stuff, which is amazing. It's right there in front of me. So it makes it really easy.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to have a 100% approval rate on brands. You know that now, obviously. But everything that we do, along with like just templates, scripts, positioning, what brands to look for and why, raises your approval rate dramatically. If you went off and just try to figure it out yourself and reached out to random brands that are not taking on new sellers like we look for and all the stuff that we look for in the program, and didn't know what to say to them and didn't know like how to organize yourself, all that stuff, it's just a way more difficult process, to figure this out on your own, which is why it's definitely worth for someone to put resources into learning it the right way to skip that learning curve and get results quickly. I'm glad you're doing really well. I'm really excited about getting these first 2 test orders in, getting them moving, and then moving on to the next, maybe a bigger fish next time, a bigger and better brand. That's what you move on to, is bigger and better brands over and over.
Absolutely. But that's how you grow long term. So that, I think, is an absolute way to go. We know Amazon is a winner. It's just laying the right foundation with them.